Up and running. Woo!
Okay.
Hey, y'all, we're back. Paranormal road trip with me, Jaime
And LaShawn.
and LaShawn with the magic jar.
With the magic jar.
We need some more ideas to go into our magic jar, okay?
I'm excited. I love this pudding pop girl. You ever seen her?
The Puddin' Pop Girl.
Lady.
I have not seen the Puddin' Pop Girl.
Don't nobody stitch this, please, because
We're not even, there we are.
But I love her. I do. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, so like I actually I still have a headache.
I'm feeling a little weird. Not gonna lie. Funky.
And you got to go home with him.
Oh, we've been riding around the car all week.
I know, but it's different now because it's like been let out of the bag.
We're going to see how these antiques continue to thrive over the next few weeks. The show that you guys watched in the previous, you got to go to the antique show. So it's the objects that we bought at an antique store. We unveiled them. We felt the energy of them. We had lots of information off of our Ovilus. It was kind of a wild show. Today, though, we're going to pull another topic out of our jar. And we are going to discuss whatever that topic is, because it's all things paranormal. I'm excited. Let's get into this.
All right. Yeah, it's been fun. I'm enjoying these bad boys.
Yeah.
Okay, so you picked last time, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so I'm going to pick this.
I get to shake. Or is it that one?
Wait a minute, do we get it or do we not? Do I get to look at it first?
No, you can't look at it first. You got to make a decision. You tossing it back in? Yeah. That's what I thought. Stir it up. Stir it up. All right.
Okay, what is that thing saying now?
It says Dress Alice Mop.
Is that our name? Right?
Oh.
That will fit the time, right?
Yeah. Dress Alice with the mop. All right. What are we doing today?
Okay, so I think we're going to have to pick another one, too.
Okay.
So let's leave it out just in case.
Okay.
So let's see. Okay. So basically, no, well, not now, after we do. So what happens is this jar has things that you guys have submitted to talk about. These can be very quick topics. The last one we did, July 11. We already passed July 11, right?
This thing is going crazy. SYNN.
Sin.
SYNN.
Okay. So with this jar, there's things that you guys wanted us to touch on and talk about, which is great. So these could be really quick. The last one that we did, it took the whole show.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed that because it was a topic that we're kind of passionate about. You guys will see that, but I'm excited. Okay, so this question says, haunted bars, have you been to one or is there one you want to go to?
Bam.
You go first.
All right. I worked in a haunted bar. So many years ago, I was asked by a friend to come help open a bar. My background is restaurant management. I opened multi-million-dollar restaurants, ran multi-million-dollar restaurants, loved it, loved everything I did. A lot of it was fast casual. Then I took a bit of a break when I started having a family, because as we know, those hours can be kind of tough. When my son turned 5, I was approached by a friend of mine to come open one of her bars because she knew I had opening experience. I was never going to work in a bar, and if you're in California, San Diego, I was never going to work in Pacific Beach. And for those of you that know, you know. That just wasn't my speed. Like, fine dining, great, regular sit-down dining, fast casual, families, yes. But to be around and being an empath and an intuitive and having these gifts, it just is so overwhelming to just go sometimes to bars, let alone run one. But pretty much I just was told to show up on this particular day, and it was getting me back into the workforce. Okay, fine. So I opened up one in PB, and then after a while I transferred over as the GM to Wonderland in Ocean Beach. beautiful views, beautiful sunsets. The history behind it is where that location is in Ocean Beach. This gentleman, and I forgot his name. I'll have to look that up for you guys.
What's the name of the bar?
Wonderland Ocean Pub.
Oh, okay.
So what he did was he built an amusement park, and there used to be this huge mural, and I'm not sure if it's still in Wonderland now after their renovations, of this amusement park on the beach. And he didn't take into account for high tides. And at one point, the high tides came up, and of course back then, right, a lot of those, it's like Belmont Park, where it's a lot of wooden roller coasters and stuff. The pictures you could see where a lot of that was wooden, same kind of time frame. It all just crumbled in the ocean. And he was so distraught.
Oceanside?
In Ocean Beach.
Is there a difference?
Yes, Oceanside is up north. Ocean Beach is down south by Imperial Beach. Yeah.
Got you.
So you can get some of the best smoke shops in Ocean Beach. But that's kind of their vibe down there. But I say that like I frequent them. I don't, and I didn't. But anyway, I digress here. So it completely took out his amusement park. And it is said that he allegedly came back up onto the shore. There was a building standing where the Wonderland building was, and he hung himself. So in that building, right, it's a bar. So you've got a lot of music, you've got alcohol, right? That area is a little bit, more laid back. So there was people that were partaking of marijuana. It's legal here now in California. But so they were under the influence of something. Most, not all. Not everybody goes to a bar to drink, right? You want to see the sunset, you're with your friends. But so that energy was always a bit different, a different vibe around it. You would get people that were intoxicated that ended up wanting to fight. So you'd have that aggression energy. Perfect storm. That building had so many issues with plumbing.
Yeah.
And leaking into the downstairs restaurants, into the parking garage.
Ocean.
What did that say?
It goes into the ocean.
Puddle. It says creek puddle. And then Tesla, because I drive Tesla. That's weird. But we would have puddles that we would be standing in water. Then we would have to close it down, clean it up, and open it back up. But that costs money. And one of the signs in any home investigations that are having issues with plumbing or leakage is that it needs to be cleansed. That or you have an energy that is trying to cost you your business, right? So if you think about the plumbing and the costs and then the rotting of it and all of that, his amusement park, like you said, got wiped out by the ocean. And now we have this chronic issue of leaks and plumbing. There would be times where you would walk through one area and I never really talked about it then because it's not something I went around announcing as a GM. Hey, I'm psychic and an intuitive. Do you see the dead people in here? But I would see a figure. I would smell cigarette smoke, and you couldn't smoke inside. So there's no reason for that. We were on the corner, so it wasn't like it was wafting in. You're closing up at 2 a.m. There's just that weird, eerie feeling sitting in the office of being watched. So yeah, I have worked in what I would call a active bar with some maybe residual hauntings. And I think that he was kind of wandering around that area, still angry and mourning the loss of what his dream was. And then by taking his own life, if that is truly the case on how that went down, he's going to be in that lower vibrational space and not want something else to do well there. Because it affected 4 different businesses at that time that was in that energy in that space.
I've never been to a haunted bar.
Yes.
I don't go to bars.
I'm sorry. What do we do?
That's not a bar. That's a restaurant.
No. Where do we go for bingo? Haunted bingo is in
Yes, that is true. We are there now on Saturdays, starting July 27th. Be there or be square.
I've never been to a haunted bar. Great. So all those people that have been coming to haunted bingo at North Bar, that's truly a bar, right? They don't even have food there.
Right.
There's no food.
That is absolutely true.
Okay. So maybe talk about your experiences there.
Okay. Okay, you know what?
Sorry, Amy.
This is. I am so sorry, Amy.
Oh my
but
God.
this is how it goes, right? Like
this is real life.
This is real life
On the spot.
Okay, so yes, North Bar in Escondido is haunted, and we do have bingo there. That is absolutely true. Okay, so we I have the SLS cameras up and stuff like that. We have definitely caught orbs. We have definitely caught spirit. Literally, and damn, I got a lot to say.
I'm aware now. I'm just going to sit back and let you work through this for a
like
minute.
what? Spirit. We actually have video of spirit dancing in the bar. On top of the what do you call that? What do you call the things? You know, the thing that's over the bar, you know, the
still work on that.
Mandy thingy. Okay, anyway, over by the garbage can, the K2s are constantly going off, including one of the ones that don't go off. I actually only had to go off twice in over the 20 years.
It's the old school.
The really old one. Like you have to be dead smack, basically kissing it.
Yeah.
Okay, to get it to go off. So, and that's gone off there. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be North Bar for me. I can't think of any other bar right off the bat. So I don't go to bars. Really, I'm not a drinker like that. So I don't find myself in bars. However, there are plenty of haunted bars throughout California because I've been seeing them
in San Diego.
In San Diego.
So if you have a haunted bar in downtown San Diego, please reach out to us. Our information's right there. That's the phone number to call. We would love to come out with our equipment. We have all the equipment you're going to see on TV and more, and set up shop in order to capture maybe some evidence to validate your employees, because the tunnels downtown, like there are some haunted ass bars downtown.
Wait a minute, there's tunnels?
There were tunnels downtown. Oh yeah, there's all sorts of
I'm
stuff.
not
about
from
downtown.
California, y'all. I mean, I've been here 11 years, but I'm not a native like you. These are things that you would know that I don't know. So really,
no, there's multiple. So we would love to come. We're happy to do a show from your location, promote your business, or just to give you validation and peace of mind that there are things going on. And sometimes we can help with that process if you want those energies to kind of move on, or sometimes you just want them there, you just want the validation, and that's fine as well. So yes, there are absolutely quite a few haunted bars. I guess this could kind of go into Hunter Steakhouse.
Yeah,
it's a restaurant, but there is a bar section that people can go sit in down there.
Yeah,
which we should probably check out the bar part. But
I wonder if we can get in there now that things have calmed down COVID wise, because that was the thing when we were trying to get in there. However, we did go. We've had lunch and stuff there several times. I had my unicorn birthday party.
Oh my God, we had a unicorn birthday party upstairs. It was fucking awesome. Okay? We had paranormal equipment, we had friends, we had cake and unicorns. That's all LaShawn needs. Actually, we were just there about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago for dinner. I haven't been there in a really long time.
Yeah.
Took the K2, sat, you know where our booth was?
Yes.
Oh, well, that was when that plastic thing that was the
fell
divider fell over.
But that, and not only that, it was, what was it? What did we have? It might have been on our phones or something, and it made a comment that something was going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, that something was going to happen, and sure enough, like literally within seconds, that happened. Where the plexiglass, because we were in the middle of COVID at that point, the plexiglass fell, and there was no way in hell that thing should have fallen.
No, that poor server was mortified.
Yeah.
Because she has no idea how that happened.
Yeah.
Our server got an article out. I mean, that is a location that has been in write-ups based on the fact that it sits on a lagoon in that Vista Oceanside corridor, where it used to be Native American burial grounds. And what they did to make the lagoon was they just bulldozed through that burial ground, through the bones into the bay part of that little, the ocean feeds into it, and then they have a lagoon. So it's sitting on disrupted burial grounds. And they talk about things that happen to servers at night there.
We had our servers talk about their experiences too.
They're all open about it.
They really are.
She showed us a picture of somebody that had taken a picture on the outside and captured an image Our equipment was going off. We were sitting in that room, just in the back corner part of it.
Yeah.
So those.
I got touched.
Yeah.
Remember when I screamed? It was.
Ashley thought you lost your mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ashley.
Talk about that.
You know.
But,
but she screamed in the middle of dinner. It's fine. So.
But let's talk about that again, because it pisses me off.
Bars can kind of move into that restaurant part of it as well. And if we're going to talk about a haunted restaurant where we had activity, that's it.
But I mean, no, that is totally it. You know, and the thing about it, when I screamed, there was a chain of events that took place, because even on our equipment, it said something to that nature. I don't remember what it was.
Like said
scratch or something, and and then it just was what it was. You know, don't get me. I get heated every time.
She can't remember that she was at a bar.
Oh,
that
God.
episode she remembers completely.
And I don't even need to be in a bar to be on a natural high that I be on. You may think I have been drinking on a natural, but it's natural, I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then so far as like haunted restaurants, I don't think I've been to one that has said that it is haunted. But keep in mind that this part of it, of really fully diving into the paranormal, hasn't been with me. I haven't always done it. I'm just saying it. I've been to cemeteries and stuff like that, but never explored outside of that aspect, and for the most part.
Well, most people aren't going to be like, hey, bring the family in for Sunday dinner and join us with Jimmy the Ghost.
But I don't think I ever looked it up either, to be honest with you. I could pretty much promise you that. I knew about the Whaley House and stuff because, that's plastered all over TV, and then being new to California, it's like a staple thing to do, right? So, of course, definitely had experiences there, definitely had proof of spirit and stuff there through cameras and stuff that we had authenticated. So yeah, but other than that, there, so far as bars and restaurants, that would be that. I would say, knowingly, that would be it. So, should we pick something else?
Let's do another one.
All right, we'll let you do it this time. Yeah, boy. That's an interesting one. But they have a lot of it, like in LA and stuff, a lot of theme bars and stuff, like the Cauldron.
Oh yeah,
and stuff like that. So, but as you know, I think when you have themes like that, it's also, even if nothing is going on, there's a possibility that something will happen, because that is what people are expecting. Whether it's a placebo effect,
right,
or whatever the case,
or they're bringing that energy,
or they're bringing that energy,
being open because it's called the Cauldron.
Yeah. Okay, you ready? All right. What you got?
Pink today.
Oh, love pink.
The Bogeman Child's Tale.
A Child's Tales. So that would go. I mean, we got a ton of those.
Yeah,
we could talk about. Like, seriously, you got. First off, is the boogeyman real? Who is the boogeyman? It's kind of what I was wondering. Is it this little? I grew up with the boogeyman being this thing that would be underneath your bed or in your closet, hiding and waiting for you. That's what I knew the boogeyman was. Child's Tale, so as far as I'm concerned, would be like, the ML person.
Okay, so Tales of the Boogeyman. Ready for this?
Okay.
And various analogs have been used for centuries all across the world to influence children to behave as their parents command and to exercise caution in dangerous situations or areas. Sometimes it's used more generally to describe any fearsome or dreaded thing. It's a tale, which a lot of these were, the boogeyman, monsters in the closet, to kind of scare your kid into doing something that you want them to do. Good, or like, don't go and cross that street because the boogeyman might be over there, right? You don't want them to cross the street by themselves so they don't get hit by a car because the boogeyman might get you, right? So there will be those type of fables and tales that have come from decades and decades, if not centuries, right? You go back into some of these fables of Ireland and Scotland, and you look at some of their tales and fables, like fables go back centuries and centuries, depending on the areas in the world. And some of them are used in order to kind of invoke a bit of fear and yet to keep that child safe at the same time.
That sounds so asinine to me. I'm sorry. That don't even sound right. I mean, I get it.
Right.
I don't remember my mom or grandmother or anybody ever talking about the boogeyman or doing that to get us to do something good or to stay away from something to keep us out. I don't remember that part of it. I remember the boogeyman being as someone who will basically come and get you. It's somebody who you don't want to see.
Well, this says a boogeyman is someone whose ideas or actions are disapproved of by some people and who is described by them as evil or unpleasant in order to make other people afraid.
Yeah, that's it.
But then you create movies around that. Right, as well.
Well, yeah, because I don't know this is a good one. We got so you got the boogeyman, you got Slender Man.
Oh yeah.
You got Mary Lou.
You've got Jazzy Bear.
Yeah, Jazzy Bear. Good grief. You got who else?
Okay, we got the Hitchhiker, the Hook, the Bloody Finger story.
Never heard of it.
The Coffin,
What did you
Coraline.
just look up? I was Scary Children's Fables. Okay.
Hansel and Gretel.
I can't say I know that story.
We've got
I can't say I know
the Flying Dutchman, the Yellow Ribbon. Okay,
no.
Let's go with the Yellow Ribbon. The Yellow Ribbon is a story that leans a bit more to the creepy side that won't make your kids scream, but they'll likely give them goosebumps. Jane, a young lady, always wears a yellow ribbon around her neck. She never tells anyone, not even her husband, why she wears it. Okay, one day, let's continue on that. How many of you have heard the Yellow Ribbon story?
Never heard of it.
I have, right? But I was in Girl Scouts, okay?
And so was that, but we didn't talk about that.
We did the haunted ghost stories around the fire, right? This is going to take us through all of them. Love it. So the Yellow Ribbon around her neck. She never tells anyone, not even her husband, why she wears it. One day, when she's on her deathbed, her husband asks her one last time about it. She agrees to let him see for himself. He nervously unties the yellow ribbon with his trembling hands and is horrified to find his wife is losing her head. She had to wear the yellow ribbon her entire life or her head would fall off.
I've never heard of that in my life. That is so lame.
That was scary around a campfire at night.
I've never heard no. The thing that scared me was the ML person.
Okay.
I already said it once. I refuse to say it 2 more times.
The ghost of the bloody finger.
Never, ever.
You haven't heard this? Okay.
Never.
There was an abandoned house in a small town that was considered haunted, and so everyone stayed away from it. One man came forward saying he is brave enough to spend the night alone in the house. As he prepares to go to bed in the haunted house, he hears a ghostly voice. I am the ghost of the bloody finger. I am in the front hall. The man thinks it could be his imagination, and the sound could be of the howling wind. But the voice gets progressively louder as the ghost inches closer to him. I am in the front hall is followed by, I'm at the bottom of the stairs, and then I'm at the top of the stairs. Next, he hears the door creak. He covers his head with the blanket in fear. After a few minutes, the voice gently says, I am the ghost of the bloody finger. Do you have a Band-Aid, young man? But
if I had my homie the clown sock, I would totally whack you with it. Like, what in the heck? Nobody heard of this shit before.
Oh, yeah.
Jamie. Nobody has heard of this.
These are...
listen, if y'all heard of these 2 tales, the yellow ribbon and the bloody finger, please put it in the comments so we could delete you. Okay?
A lot of these I haven't heard.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, those are true things. Okay. Okay.
No, those are so freaking lame. No, I'm sorry. All I got is ML and I don't know, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger. Whatever
Here you go. Because you've been mean to me, I'm making you look at clown pictures now.
I hate clowns.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not really a thingamajiggy, is it? Is it?
The clowns?
I just hate clowns. But we are gonna go to a Clown Motel. We're planning on it.
Well, I
So
think
that's
that should
gonna
be our
be
trip in
very
September
fucking freaky.
when we swim to Colorado.
Yep.
Swing through Vegas and those areas to go
Yeah.
to Colorado.
That's gonna be interesting. I know. Okay, so yeah, those are all crazy. I don't like those. They're lame as hell. Those don't sound scary to me. I'm telling you, if anybody else heard of it,
The yellow ribbon. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
never heard of
Okay,
it.
so you've got Irish scary kids fables. The leprechaun,
No.
the banshee.
Okay, Banshee. Mm-hmm.
Now,
but let's talk about the Banshee real quick.
yeah,
Because the Banshee is a regional thing.
let's go into the banshee right now.
Okay. And that's a cultural thing. So I didn't learn about the Banshee until as an adult. Okay. So as a kid, well, I don't know, yeah. He was scary looking to me too, the leprechaun. But the Banshee is an old wives' tale. Or is it?
So, probably the second most famous Irish creature. Banshees are female spirits who are more often heard than seen.
Mm-hmm.
Their horrific sounding wail means death is coming for a member of the family who hears it, and no one can escape the cry of the banshee.
Yeah. That's kind of weird. I mean, I heard crying. I hear crying in my house when baby here. Well, she was. I didn't hear it this time.
Now, is that a kid crying, or is that...
Is that the banshee? Well, the way that I would imagine the banshee sounds like would be some shit like that.
This will be the last one that we record tonight, folks, because she's lost her mind. But a high-pitched squeal, like just scream, like fingernails on a chalkboard type of banshee noise. I'm like, or
I picture like this old crepit woman with something like, what is that?
the changeling. Okay,
The who?
changeling, Changeling.
Never heard of it.
Common across Europe and not just Ireland. These are fairy babies that have taken the place of a human baby. But sometimes changelings can take the place of adults too. The most notorious Irish changeling story happened in 1895 when a man named Michael Cleary murdered his wife, Bridget, claiming that she was a changeling and that his real wife had been abducted by fairies. The judge didn't buy his story and he was found guilty of manslaughter and sentenced to 15 years in prison.
Okay, first off,
Okay, here she goes.
we're taking fairies and making them into these horrible
Child tales, boogeymans, it's, yeah.
I've never heard of a I know people who don't like fairies,
Right.
due to past lives situations, but I never considered a fairy to be something to be feared. So I've never heard of that story before either. I don't know where you're picking this shit up. Stay offline. Google.
I've heard of changelings.
I've never heard of it. Once again, this must be like a cultural thing, like
Maybe it's because I'm
a
going dark.
region. No,
I'm going dark.
I don't know
I'm
what
so
it
sorry.
is.
No, this is
But-
stuff, yes, from like junior high age for me
No.
on some of these.
Never heard of it. No, and other than ML, I don't know any other ones. I hope that the MLs don't. I mean, god dang it, don't go. Then they don't count because that one, I'm not gonna lie, I am truly afraid of, and I have been all these years.
From a child?
From
or?
a child. For some reason, I feel like that hits very like that's very real. I know that sounds crazy. And now I'm gonna be laying in my bed thinking about it. I'm gonna have to let Tommy back in my room. Sorry. I digress. No, I mean, it's just like, no, like that is one that I'm scared of.
Okay, so 24 children's stories that still give us the creeps. Okay, you guys wanted like the children's tales. I'm not going to go all through 24, but here we go. The girl who trod on the loaf. I don't know what that means. The tally
A loaf of bread.
Soap Sally. Soap Sally lives under the bed and would turn your thumb into soap if you didn't go to sleep. My mom told me that she turned my aunt's thumb into soap.
And then what happened?
That was it.
So what, do you suck your thumb? Accident, you're a thumb sucker. You put it in your mouth and it's soap.
Maybe so. The Tooth Fairy. The Tooth Fairy is a cute little twiggy wharf girl who works harder than the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus because she has to work all year round. I think we need to
just fucking do another job.
You want more of these?
No, absolutely
She
not.
cannot handle this anymore.
No. That is all so freaking lame. Oh my God. Like, I can't.
But these are things that people would, exactly. So like sucking your thumb, maybe that's where the soap fairy came from, right? So.
I've never heard of a soap fairy, number one.
Okay, I didn't know that you were all knowing of soap fairy land.
I just.
Last one, you guys. Let's see if this one's going to be.
Okay, have you experienced poltergeist activity?
Well, why don't you start that one off?
Well, I definitely have.
I know.
Mine's happened as a kid. The first time that as far back as I can remember, we stayed in the basement of my grandmother's house. It was a whole other apartment. So it's kind of like, I don't know if y'all remember, they used to be really popular, big glass jars, but they were real big, and you would put flour in them, pasta and stuff like that. So we had, against the wall, there was a cabinet there, and my mom had all these jars lined up. Zero way that they could slide off and fall off, right? Not even, honestly, not even if it was an earthquake, because in other words, there's a lot of table between where they were to not do that. And I remember one of them literally just tilting over and rolling off onto the floor.
Was that poltergeist or was that a random spirit in the house?
That I would consider poltergeist experience.
Okay.
And okay, I'll say this. For the time that it was, being a kid, experiencing that, seeing the movie The Poltergeist, and the type of things that happen like that, that is what I knew at the time.
Right. Okay.
You understand?
Fair enough.
So I didn't know about spirits and shit like that at that point. So to me, and I've just always kept that as poltergeist experience. So what is poltergeist, right? That's where spirit or an energy is known to toss shit, right? Things go flying across the room. Tables get turned upside down. Basically, it's what, energy?
Wikipedia.
Okay, I can't see it.
Wikipedia, you're saying the same thing. Historically, actual malicious spirits were blamed for apparent poltergeist type activity, such as objects moving seemingly of their own accord. According to Alec Kardec, the founder of spiritualism, poltergeists are manifestations of disembodied spirits of low level belonging to the sixth class of the third order. That's Poltergeist Wikipedia. So with that being said, one of the tricks a poltergeist is known for is making knocking noises.
Right.
Which comes from the German translation called knocking spirit.
Okay.
So, and that's German on that side of it. You got that one up there. What is a poltergeist? Is a disembodied spirit or supernatural force created with certain malicious or disturbing phenomena such as inexplainable noises, sudden wild movements, or breakage of household items.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, because in other words, there's a fine line between what is considered to be poltergeist activity versus an angry spirit or a spirit trying to get your attention or whatever the case may be, right? Prime example. Hey,
when you are in a home and you have activity, right? Which is a lot of us. We've got all of our equipment out, right? We're able to capture that activity. When you have these haunted places, so we were talking in the last episode that you guys watched about different ghost type shows, right? For ghost adventures. So if you are in Zach Baggins, which LaShawn talked about, museum, which we're actually going to go and visit at the end of September. I haven't been there before. Would he have poltergeist activity? Would it be activity of a malicious spirit moving things around in that particular building, right? Or would it just be a menacing spirit? Would that still be considered poltergeist activity? What I learned in probably about 10 years ago is poltergeist activity can also be manifested and created through a teenager going through puberty.
Yes, that part too.
Preteen going through puberty. And so in the grand scheme of things, poltergeist activity can be anything and everything.
No, right. But that's why I feel like there's, sorry, I had to.
Should have just stairs. It's just, you remember? It's just,
yeah. Okay. Okay, because, right, so if y'all remember, those who follow me, my personal page and stuff, remember when my purse went flying across the room, right? You remember that?
That was like the best conversation ever.
It really was.
You
that
were in your closet.
Yes. But that conversation opened up conversation for people on my page to talk about what their experience and stuff was. People that you would never even thought had believed in it or had something happen to them. It was a huge conversation. So, because what we did was I went through and brought you guys on the journey of trying to debunk what happened, right?
Yep.
So, with that being said, that could be considered poltergeist activity, right? It was sitting on a shelf and it literally across the room.
Flew across the room.
It literally flew across the room. However, I will say this, because this was around the same time that someone that I knew had passed.
Right.
Right? I actually had a conversation with you. I called you because I was in the kitchen at the time and I heard something fall, but it sounded like a big sack of potatoes. To the point where I stopped what I was doing, went to the door to see if like the delivery person had, I knew that it was right where I was. But I'm trying to rationalize, as most people do when things happen, right? Oh, it's just the creak of the house. The house is getting old and this and that. So I'm trying to rationalize, how did I hear it right here, but then I'm checking way over there, right? So I'm debunking. Well, that, what was it, that a couple, I want to say a day or two later is when the purse went flying across the room. But I had found out that someone that I knew had died. I actually called her and asked her, like, do she think that it's possible that I had heard it? And I only know this because they died. They found that person in the kitchen, or I think it was the kitchen. So was it possible that what I heard was falling over or whatever? Now, on the flip side of that, people are like, well, you didn't have a great relationship. No, still relative, but it doesn't matter as far as I'm concerned. Right. And we have had conversations recently, in that time where we had contact. However, what I did do after that purse went flying across the room was I went into automatic handwriting in that closet and was able to get a message across as to, I guess, what they were experiencing or what their concerns were, which I had no idea about at all. And so that was validating for me. But once again, that's that fine line, because in my mind, it's not poltergeist. It wasn't poltergeist. This was someone that I knew. Okay. But other than that, poltergeist, I mean, like I said, it could be anything. Just the other day, dream catcher fell. There's no way that dream catcher could have fallen.
No, it was anchored on there.
It was anchored on there. There was zilch way, but yet my granddaughter said she saw it move and fall onto the floor. She came running with it in her hand out the room screaming. Okay, so could that be poltergeist experience, or what is it?
See, and I'm picturing poltergeist activity being a little more menacing.
Okay.
A little more...
like knives flying across the room?
No, not quite like that, and I prefer that not happen. So we're just going to cancel, clear, delete that.
But when you look at the movie Poltergeist, what happened? Chairs, tables, everything moved. Silverware moved, right? That's what their definition of poltergeist experience was.
Well, then are we also going to believe Ghostbusters, where they suck in the people from the little machine? And that poltergeist that comes out and comes into her refrigerator?
Well, but was that considered a poltergeist? I consider that, if anything, the boogeyman-ish. You know, that, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, like, I don't consider that to be, I would not have considered it to be poltergeist experience.
The eggs come flying at her?
That, yes, because you couldn't see nothing. There was nothing there, there was eggs. So to me, my definition of that would be that, yes, there are things that are moving around kind of in a violent way is my thought of that.
Right.
Like,
so
when
is
my
your
purse
dream catcher, your purse?
The purse, I would consider that.
The dream catcher, though, coming off, or is that more spirit just messing around?
I didn't consider that as poltergeist. If anything, honestly, I have not figured that out. I have not taken the time to even try to really figure that out, because my main concern was talking to my grandbaby and letting her know that everything was okay, you know, blah, blah, blah. However, she didn't say that it was thrown. Now, had it been picked up and thrown across the room,
different story.
That would be a different story. But she said she saw it move and it fell, is what she said. So to me, that would not be considered. I would not have considered that at all.
No, and I've had 2 different houses. Well, shit happens all the time, but like big things. In one house, I had paintings taken off the wall and put in different spots of the room, but they were propped up and they were upright. So for me, that was a energy.
Whoa. Go back. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. So you mean to tell me that you had a picture?
On the wall. Went to bed that night.
Picture on the wall.
She went to bed, woke up in the morning, and the picture that was on the wall was laying on the floor, propped up on my side of the bed. Painting.
So who was in the house with you?
Well, my ex-husband and the kids.
No, none of them did that.
No.
Okay.
That was what I determined to be his grandfather giving me a sign that, because they did Christmas Eve at their house, his grandparents' house, every single year. It was the first year we were deviating from the plan.
Okay.
And we were going to host it with our girls, because we hadn't had our son yet. And we were going to be in that space of, you know, bringing everybody to the house and doing it there.
Okay.
To me, that was an act of, because it was his painting that was on the wall, of like, it's all good, right?
Okay.
But then when I lived in an apartment and we had my son, my daughters would draw on the big, like, you know, big paper. You just take a big piece off, let them color and do their stuff. And then I would hang them in the hallway because they go, oh, look at your masterpiece, right?
Right.
There was one night where I heard all this noise in the hallway of this apartment and I could hear ripping. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I thought somebody broke in.
Okay.
And when we went into the hallway, all of the paintings and pictures that they had drawn on big, like, butcher block paper had all been torn off the walls. That was not a friendly energy. That was something trying to tear stuff off.
Right. So do you
across the hall?
But okay, so do you consider that to be poltergeist energy?
More so poltergeist energy, yes.
Okay. So do you think, we're talking about from what we have heard about the energies of kids and, you know, even adults for that matter, do you think that played a part in that particular incident happening? Or do you think or what do you think exactly?
Well,
and like breaking it down just the way that you did.
For that, a disembodied spirit or supernatural force to create disturbing or malicious phenomena.
Okay. So poltergeist. Based off of that.
Breakage of household items.
Right.
Tearing things off the walls. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So then at the end of the day, and this is just something to think about as well, is when people talk about their experiences with these different things happening and moving, I guess we have the upper hand because we're both intuitive mediums can say, nah, you know, I think this was your loved one, or, you know, whatever. But at the end of the day, for those who do not have that ability or have a friend like us around or have us to come and investigate or whatever, to say that that's what it is, or versus it being a poltergeist versus it being someone who is just angry, which is kind of one of the same to me as a poltergeist. They kind of go like this, if you ask me personally. See, I think it's all really subjective.
I've
At
had
the end of the
one
day.
investigation to where I did use the terms, this is poltergeist activity and you're the one creating it. And it was somebody that we know, and their daughter was having activity in her room. And when I went in, the energy was out of whack. I had the pendulum spinning in all different directions. I got the dowsing rods out underneath her room. All the way through was just weird ass energy. And I went in there, I go, stuff moves in here. And she goes, it doesn't just move, it flies in here. And it was her grief because she had lost her boyfriend, who was very close to the entire family. Her grief was so intense. And she was probably in her late teens, okay, that it was actually manifesting this poltergeist type activity and was creating these things happening in her room.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's a fine line. I think it's subjective to what everybody's beliefs are on it. I'm not sure how many. I've never heard anybody talk about a poltergeist in their homes or any of the investigations that were done. Yeah, or anything like that. So I wonder if people just don't think about it from that standpoint, or how that works. But for me, to dissect every little thing that comes or that happens within my space is important to me because I live here. You understand what I'm saying? So whereas when that first went flying, even though I brought you guys on that journey, it's always fact checking as well to make sure that, I'm not just going crazy. But I never once ever thought about poltergeist experience. Yeah.
Now the cat ball's going off.
It's actually gone off twice without it being touched or anything. So I think that's really interesting. It's very it's subjective to me.
So there you go.
That's a good one.
Poltergeist. All right, you guys, we've hit 3 topics from our little jar. We need more topics to go in our little jar. Message us. Put it in the comments. What do you want to talk about? What do you want that's all things paranormal related, spirit related? Well, we're going to console, club, and filter. So don't filter what you want. This is coming from our perspective, from our experiences. And we do like to pull up research. We do like to pull up some things to get some more clarity on topics that we don't have a lot of information for. And use those as talking points as well, because there are no coincidences really. Everything is possible when it comes down to the spirit world. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's keep it 100. We don't. I play devil's advocate the whole life, because I'm still trying to figure it out, which is one of the reasons why I love what it is that we do and how I got into it. It all started from experiences and curiosity out of those experiences, Scared or not scared, I need to know.
Yep. And that's where we can help you with all of our high-tech paranormal equipment. Phone number's right there to reach out to us. We'll let you know when we are making our road trip, time frame wise. If you have activity in your locations that we might be passing through, you can always reach out to us. Give us a call, give us a shout out, like and subscribe. Tell your friends who are into paranormal that they aren't going to find a show like us.
Right.
Why? Because we are so off the wall. It's unbelievable. And yet we are intuitive, psychics, mediums, multi-generational on that side of it. So we bring all elements to the table, and we talk about it all, and we can agree, we can disagree, we can meet in the middle. It doesn't matter, because to each their own experience. Anything else?
Don't forget to go to Paranormal Road-Trip on Facebook. Listen, we want to go live over there. We just changed things over, so come on over there. Get involved. Remember, you guys, the more you guys are active with us, the more content that we can do and will do and we want to do. Okay, so be active, interactive. Everything that we do is really, truly interactive. Don't forget, we have Haunted Bingo at North Bar in Escondido. You guys asked to have it on a Saturday, so you guys can be there. So our first one is July 27th at 5 p.m. at North Bar in Escondido. Okay, I live all the way in the Temecula area. It only takes about 20 to 25 minutes to get there. Y'all can make it.
Especially on Saturdays. So,
yeah.
Stay tuned for more activities, events that you can be a part of. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining us once again, and we will see you next time.